The movie Jaws makes it look like sharks only feed on human flesh and nothing else. But in reality, sharks don't particularly like the taste of humans, and most shark attacks are a case of mistaken identity. But that doesn't say that you stop being cautious in the water, especially where there's a threat of a shark attack. There are multiple ways you can end up in a shark attack. Let's look at 10 ways you can end up being a shark's dinner. But before we get into that, don't forget to subscribe. Number 10. Confusing scenarios for sharks. Yes, sharks can attack you if it's a confusing scenario. The scenario might not be confusing for you as we're humans and obviously smarter than sharks. According to the Florida Program for Shark Research Director and Coordinator George Burgess, for sharks, confusing scenarios can be: is it foggy? Raining? Is the light low, such as at dawn, dusk, or after dark? Is there sewage in the water? Are fishermen yanking and struggling bleeding fish all around you? Is the water murky? Are you bleeding from anywhere in or on your body, even a little? These are all factors that could lead to a disoriented yet hungry or just plain curious shark coming out of nowhere and attacking whatever it sees in sight. Number 9. Looking like shark food. Sharks are indeed very dangerous animals, but they have a very specific type of diet and they don't feed on just anything. Humans are not in their diet unless they look like shark food. It's common sense that if there are a lot of sharks around and they're feeding on seals, maybe don't go getting up close and personal with the seals, especially in a watercraft that resembles, from beneath, a seal. That means if you want to shoot photos of all the cuddly critters, don't do it on a stand-up paddleboard or kayak, do it from the land. According to the International Shark Attack File, a collaboration between the Florida Museum of Natural History and the American Elasmobranch Society, sharks also tend to notice high contrast colors, such as the popular bright yellows and oranges and greens used by kayak manufacturers. If you live in a sharky region, and most coastal areas have some level of potential presence, they suggest you opt instead for a matte color or blue, as sharks can attack high contrast colors. Researchers recommend the same caution be taken with swimsuits, shiny jewelry, and surfboards. Number 8. Not being relaxed. This is a fairly simple one, but unfortunately this is the rule most people forget when they're in any way in contact with a shark. According to marine researchers, acts like freaking out and splashing water can scare a shark and make it attack you. It's also advised against erratic splashing, which can trigger a shark's sense of curiosity, meaning they may wonder if you're telling them it's dinner time and you're the main course. Try to keep swimming strokes smooth and act calmly in the water. Plus, sharks are hypersensitive to electromagnetic signals, meaning they can sense fear or excitement or your pounding heart, and have been known to react predatorily to such stimuli, as evidenced by these photos of freedivers Carlos Estrebro and Ocean Ramsey. Number 7. No dogs allowed. This is sad, but we have to make sure that no dog ever gets harmed by a shark, as they're more precious than humans. Dogs are fairly excited and hyperactive creatures. They get very excited at the sight of water and start moving a lot and splashing, which can give sharks signals. Their small size and wild splashing, coupled with the high-frequency sounds they emit, may make our pets a potentially irresistible dinner for aquatic apex predators, and many places warn against letting dogs into the water in shark-infested territory. That said, there's currently no reliable scientific information confirming whether swimming with a dog increases the risk of being bitten. According to Charlie Hoovink, ecologist with the South Australian Research and Development Institute's Marine Ecosystem Science Program, he says it's not confirmed, but we have to be careful and not let our amazing pets go in waters where there is a looming threat of sharks, let alone go in with them. Number 6. Swimming at unpatrolled beaches. Believe it or not, lifeguards are your best friends at any beach and maybe any place with water. Even if you're an experienced swimmer, there's nothing much you can do if you come in contact with a shark and are in its range to be attacked. You are alone, and there's nowhere to go, and you cannot swim faster than a shark. Who would be there to save you? You guessed right, a lifeguard. Lifeguards with their raised vantage points and complete view of the beach are your best friends if you're paranoid about sharks. They can spot any unusual activity and clear the water of swimmers if anything seems amiss. Swimming on beaches without lifeguards removes that safety net, so always go to beaches where there are lifeguards, especially if you're with kids and family. They can help save a life in the worst-case scenario. Number 5. Swimming at dawn, dusk, or in murky water. Sharks feed more actively in the low light of dawn and dusk because that's their favorite time to go looking for food. You must have seen a lot fewer people swimming in waters at dawn. Avoid swimming in murky water, which often occurs after a recent rainfall. Sharks love to hunt in these low visibility conditions, and you're more likely to be mistaken for something the shark would actually want to eat when neither of you can see each other very well. Places to avoid include drop-offs, sandbars, river and harbor mouths, and anywhere sewage and waste are deposited into the water. Number 4. Be the aggressor. Now, if you're attacked by a shark, unfortunately, the best possible way to get rid of it is by being aggressive. People make the mistake of panicking and not doing anything, and that results in them losing a limb or two. Sharks are fish, and like all fish, they can be spooked and scared by aggression and attacks. The first way to signal this intent to fight is to maintain eye contact with the shark and stare it down. Sharks are intelligent, and this lets the shark know that you won't be a meal that will go down without a fight. It's also a good plan because keeping an eye on the shark at all times will allow you to know where it is and what its intentions are. This advice is most crucial to divers who are more likely to notice a shark approaching and who can keep their eyes open underwater. But it's good advice for general swimming and shark encounters too. Number 3. Aiming for the nose. Don't be one of those people who punch a shark in the nose thinking that's going to make them stop breathing. They don't breathe through their nose. It's the gills that are more important. Many anecdotal cases tell of divers and surfers fighting off sharks by punching and gouging the fish. One myth says that punching a shark in the nose is the best strategy. You're more likely to lose your hand with this strategy. Aiming for the eyes and the gills is more effective. This small act of aggression is often enough to send the shark looking for an easier meal. Australian surfer Mick Fanning claimed to have punched a great white that recently approached his board while he was surfing in a tournament in South Africa. You are less likely to lose a limb if you punch a shark in their eyes or gills, which are their weak points. And with that, it's now time for today's subscriber pick. Today's photo was sent to us by a subscriber. If you come across a photo online and want to know more details about it, just send it over to us. We might even feature it on a future video. Number 2. Swimming with open wounds. This picture is of a shark and an open wound. While the scent of human blood does not normally interest sharks, they undoubtedly have powerful senses of smell and can likely detect the scent of an open wound in the water. It's a good idea to stay out of the water if you have a fresh cut, particularly if any other factors are present that could attract a shark's attention. Sharks are primarily attracted to the blood of the fish and marine animals, so swimming in waters with fish blood can be bad for you. So you should avoid swimming in areas with fish blood in the water. This includes places where fishermen fishing are chumming the water or schools of bait fish are being fed on by other fish. If you're a woman worried about swimming while menstruating, you shouldn't be. According to Dr. Chris Lowe, head of the California State University Shark Lab, the amount of blood that is produced during menstruation is so small that it becomes background with all the other components that are in the water. So there's no threat of shark due to that.
I saved the best for last, but first, I have a quick challenge that takes only 5 seconds to complete. If you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Just try it, it really works.
Number 1. Not using shark repellent. People usually think it's a myth that shark repellents work, so they tend to use it less, which is dangerous. There's all manner of products on the market that claim to repel sharks. Some use a substance found in putrefied shark tissue. Some are chemicals, and some claim to harness the power of magnetism. There are wearable electromagnetic fields. There are special wetsuits that are supposed to make you invisible to sharks, though some, including George Burgess, argue they may actually have the opposite effect. That striped suit that's supposed to look like a lionfish is about as nice a thing as you can do to attract a shark because of the contrast between dark and light. Remember, at the end of the day, nothing is guaranteed to work, except sitting on the beach with a margarita. That's our list of 10 ways you can end up being attacked by a shark. What do you think is the best way to avoid the shark attack? Tell us in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.